Hey guys, Spray and Pray here, and today we're doing something very special. We're starting off a new series where we're going to be playing Europa Universalis 4, as you see up here in the title. I'm going to be doing face cam, of course, as usual, but in a minute here I'm going to take it away so we can just, get acclimated to the UI, but I'll bring it back and you'll see how that all works later. But for right now, I just want to give a little overview about this game. It's basically sort of like Victoria 2, and so if you're coming from that game, it's going to feel pretty familiar. We start in 1444, so that's a long time before the start of Victoria 2. So it's going to be a lot different, guys, but we get about 300 years instead of 100 years to expand our nation or do whatever the heck we want as a country. So it's going to be really, guys, I think we're going to have an awesome time. So yeah, let's get ahead and start going over the interface and stuff, because this is a very complicated game. I spent a whole week last week while I was on vacation. I used all my free time to learn how to play this game, and it was really fun. So it's not like I was slaving away for you guys or something, but it was awesome. And now that I know how to play the game a little bit better, I think it'll just be for you guys' benefit, honestly, and my own, I guess, so I don't make a fool of myself. But nevertheless, let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and remove the face cam now. And like I said, that face cam will come back at the end of this section here after we go over the UI. Okay, so as you see here, the world looks very different, and you can't really tell with the terrain map mode. I hate it when people leave it on terrain map mode. So let's put it on political map mode, because it's a lot more obvious what things are. You see the Ottomans here, there's still the Byzantine Empire is still around. Things are very different as they are today, guys. As you see, France here, which is the nation I've chosen to play for you guys, is very fragmented but still very strong. It's easy difficulty, and since I'm just starting out the game, I wanted something that was not that was easy. However, we can make it challenging by having big goals. If you have a hard nation, it's going to be harder to just get mediocre stuff done. So I think starting with a medium-ish nation, I guess it says it's easy, but I think it's more medium-ish because you don't start out with all your territory, or all the territory you're going to want. Unlike, Spain and stuff over here is pretty much set. Regardless, let's start going over some of this stuff here. We can start it most of these times. You can start it a lot of times, like the 7 Years' War, or all the way up to the Revolutionary France. But the game ends at 1820, so I don't know why you'd want to only play for 30 years. I don't know, but whatever floats your boat, We're gonna start at the obviously the very first one, Rise of the Ottomans. Not really, I think I just want to play the whole game for you guys. I think that'll be fun. As you see, there's a lot of information over here, and that's why I removed the face cam. So let's go over this stuff here. We are part of the technology group Western, and that's important because you get like debuffs or penalties for being other technologies. I think the Ottomans, if we click them, they have Ottoman technology, and then these guys up here have nomad technology. I don't know if it's actually considered a penalty, but I think you get, for the New World technologies, get a penalty. It just depends on who you are, but the Western technology, I think, starts out the best, or is has the most potential. One of these things is good for it. So anyway, let's see here. We want to go. Let's continue going on here. We've gone over that. Our religion is Catholic, and we can actually put on religious map mode and see that the entirety of Europe is Catholic. Well, it's as long as you don't consider this part Europe here. It's mostly Europe, And there's some Orthodox, and Sunni is basically Muslim, sort of. It's the moon. And there's some Shamanist and some Buddhists and stuff over here, but we're probably not going to get over that area anyway. The most important thing is that there's no Protestants yet, so that's going to be a cool event, is with the Protestant Reformation when that happens. We see that in the Imperial map mode that there's still the Holy Roman Empire, which is actually ruled by Austria now, so that'll be something that we'll have to contend with as France, because you see they actually hold some of our territory in the form of like Savoy and stuff. I believe that belongs to France modern day. I'm not certain. There's another map mode for trade, and we'll go over that more when we start playing. And diplomatic map mode shows us that we're at war with England, obviously. So back to political map mode. We'll go over, we have our leader here, Charles something de Valois. These things here represent his skill in certain aspects of ruling, administrative skill, diplomatic skill, and military skill. Those drastically affect our points and how many points we get. Those points are used to do many things, from building something in a province like a temple or a constable to influence, like moving along in technology level. These points are precious, and the maximum that a leader can have is 6 in any one of these skills. So we start off with a pretty average leader. He could be better, of course, but he's okay. So we have some starting ideas, and a lot of these things are that we'll get later. These are ideas. We'll go into that more as time goes on and those things become more apparent. Just in case you guys are experts and know the game awesome already, I will tell you that we're going to go for some exploration ideas and stuff like that, because I would like to do some colonizing, at least some, as France, in addition to being like a ridiculous land power in Europe. Now, in diplomacy section, we can see here that we are at war with England, obviously, as we've seen earlier. We have a bunch of vassals, which is really cool. We have 5 vassals, which are these nations here that are sort of in us, but province here, which is the weirdest name I've ever seen for a province, is province. So I guess that's what they're named after, but still weird, and it's gonna confuse people maybe, or me even. So hopefully it doesn't confuse you too much. But anyway, all these guys are our vassal, which means basically eventually they'll be folded into our country, so we'll paint them blue sometimes, and they're forced to help us in the war, so they're going to be definitely a good thing to have against England. The main thing we got to worry about is provinces on our side in this war, so we got to make sure that since they're not our vassal, they can independently declare peace, so we got to make sure they don't steal any of our territories. But that should be easy, we shouldn't have to worry about that. Alright, so back to this thing here, we're also guaranteeing the independence of Scotland. That's only until 1464, so that's not really a big deal. So I don't think that's ever really come into play while I was testing out the game. Anyway, so now that we've gone over everything, I think it's time for us to start playing the game, and we're going to go over the interface, and I will bring the face cam back very shortly, in case you're missing my beautiful face. Alright. So, as you see here, it looks like we've been shifted back into the other map mode, but I'll put it back into political for you. The fog of war does exist, so we cannot see anything beyond our own borders and allies. Now, there's this section over here, which is where I'm going to be putting the face cam where it was earlier. It's just going to be covering up this little, like, quick, what's it called, outliner, which basically is just for me, really. If you guys can see that, it's not that big of a deal. It just helps me organize all my diplomats, merchants, and everything, and armies, of course. Now, I'm going to make sure you can see up here and stuff, so don't worry, you'll be able to see the date and where we rank in prestige. And if you can't, please let me know. The text size is probably small, and there's nothing really I can do about that, and I'm really sorry, guys, if the UI isn't clear, but if you put it on full screen, you should be able to read everything. However, I know that's an annoyance, and I don't want to make you do that, so I will read most of the things for you. You don't need to, like, squint or whatever to read it. So please, if you're not able to put it on full screen, don't worry, I will read most of the things and try my best to explain as we go along, so you don't have to worry about that. Oh, I'm so sorry if you can about the siren. Please don't. I might even cut that out, but whatever. Okay, so let's move on here. I'm adding the face cam back now because you don't need to see this. Like as I said, nothing important pops up there really. Alright, so in this episode I'm not really planning to unpause time, so we're gonna just go over the UI and just make it a short tutorial. If you want an in-depth tutorial, go check out Arumba, because he did some amazing tutorials. Just type in Arumba into the search bar and you can look at his playlist, and he has a 40 video long playlist about this game, and I watched a bunch of those to figure out how to play, so you guys can definitely learn from that as well. Now, let's go ahead and get started. The most important button in this game is probably this big shield, but we're going to skip that for now because I want to just go over, I'm going to just basically go top to bottom. Here's our treasury and how much gold we have, or ducats rather. They're called, the currency is ducats in this game, and that's how much we have right now, and you can see we're getting a negative balance. That's mostly because of our fleet and army maintenance. That'll go down as we get, you know, we don't have to pay for them as much as we stop fighting. This is our manpower. This drastically affects, like, how much you're able to reinforce your men and create new units as well. Your stability will affect your revolt risk and a bunch of other things, so you can improve this by spending administrative power. It's not that bad, it's pretty easy to figure out and do. Prestige works a lot differently than it does in Victoria 2. You can only go up to 100 prestige, and you can only go down to negative 100 prestige, and it's more of a fluid mechanic and not like a get a bazillion prestige like it is in Victoria. By default, you're gonna decay prestige, and that's mostly because, you know, that's just how they want the game. It's to be a little bit hard, but you can get some things that will improve your prestige. So it's always good to have more prestige, because if you see here, there's a bunch of green things like global trade power, morale of armies, mercenary cost, that are going to be affected by how much prestige you have. Alright, now there's legitimacy also, which is how much of our monarchs are perceived by our subjects, and that gives us less result risk and all these other things as well. So these are just stats that you want to maintain and keep good. Legitimacy we'll talk about some more when we start doing royal marriages and stuff like that. Now we have all 4 of our types of advisors, or the guys that we can send out. We have traders, colonists, and diplomats, and missionaries, of course. Now missionaries are used to convert for religious, but we all have the same religion now because we're all Catholic, obviously. But if we take over some other province in like Tunisia or something, there's the penalty for having a different religion than our country's religion, so we can convert them if we want. Now that's going to be cool, but we're not going to really be using the missionary as of right now, so I'm sure we'll go over that more later. Diplomats are important because you can only do 2 diplomatic actions at a time if you only have 2 diplomats. And this is, you know how you had points in diplomatic points in Victoria 2? Well, this is sort of the same way that they're limiting, so you can't just go diplomacy with everybody in the world all at the same time. You have to manage your 2 diplomats. Alright, so we're going to move down a little bit. Here's administrative power, and that's what I was talking about. Every month our leader gets us these numbers increased, and we can also hire advisors that will help him increase these numbers more, which we'll be doing soon. Don't worry about that. So yeah, that's good. That's pretty much, we spend this stuff to do things. That's basically all you need to know. Over here we see the date, and I'm sure you'll be able to still see this, and then our score here as well. This is similar to how they rank you in Victoria 2, but it's just basically you get points for being awesome, and it has no effect on your game whatsoever, but it does give you an idea of where you rank in the world. And I guess if you're trying to, take over the world, you probably want to be 1. Anyway, I think we're done with all that now. We've clicked on this shield, as you see here. This is probably, like I said, the most important button. You get to do a lot of things with this button. You see your government, diplomacy, economy, trade, technology, ideas, missions, stability, religion, and military. Now, we're going to start with government. This is where you hire advisors, so your king, all your little modifiers and stuff that make you awesome are cool. You can change your government to other things where you'll get specific bonuses for them, which is cool. Now, right now we're a feudal monarchy, and I don't have any plans to change that right away, so I think we're going to stick with that for a while. On our diplomacy tab, we see we have our leader again, and we see our technology levels, our prestige. We can see everything about our country and any other country if we could decide to click on them. We can declare war, do a bunch of things. So back to our country though, we can also have rivals, which are awesome. We can set them, like say England as a rival, and we get a bunch of bonuses for fighting them and beating them and stuff. It's pretty awesome. So let's continue on to economy. This is where we have 2 sliders that are most important to us right now, which is army maintenance and fleet maintenance. You can't take it down to 0, but as you see here, we can get a positive increase in economy by, it's basically, you can change it down. This is like you're paying them half, and this is 100%. But since we want their morale to be high, we're at war, we're going to take the little negative balance here. That's fine. Now our trade, this menu is not, I don't think I've really used it too much. I probably should. But we do get lots of income from trade, so this I'm sure will be more important as we go on, and we'll go over it more. We can see our 2 merchants are already out and hanging out somewhere, so that's good. Now, in our technology group, we can see here that we are at level 3 in all of our technologies, and that the next level of technology will cost about 564 power to do each one of these. And we need these things right here. These are the ones that give us our administrative power. We're currently at 91, so it takes a very long time to get up to increasing these, and it's very important to do so. Ideas are something that we'll go over more later because, as you see here, we need to have level 4 administrative technology to actually even unlock any ideas. So these are just basically bonuses you'll get, and it's similar to the decision system in Victoria, but not really the same. Missions and decisions, however, are pretty much the exact same as Victoria 2. However, missions are new. Decisions are the same. Missions, you basically just pick these, and the game tries to help you out here by giving you good things. For instance, England must be driven from France. We're fighting the war with them now, so that's probably a good mission for us to do. And since we're here already, I'm just going to go ahead and accept that mission because, as France, we should be able to expel England from the land, even if they call their ally Portugal. Now, over to stability and expansion, we see that we have our war exhaustion, colonial expansion, overextension, and stability, of course. All of these things are bad if they're up, except for stability. You want to have you can go up to 3 and down to -3, and there's all sorts of bonuses and debonuses that affect that. So yeah, our overextension here is also bad. Everything is bad. War exhaustion. This is like the scary tab. If like stuff that can really hurt you happens here. Our religion tab, we're not going to really be in this one much because we can just, you know, of course, click down here to get to the papacy, but we'll go over that stuff more as the game goes on. And our military, we can see all of our units here. Our force cap is 48. We're currently at the force cap, which is nice. The one problem we actually start out with is that we have too many leaders. Isn't that weird? We currently have 4 out of the 2 military leaders that we can field, and what we can do to we're losing military per month now because of it. We're getting -2, but if we just boot 2 of these guys, we should be able to get back up to 2 out of 2 leaders. So I've spent a lot of time considering this without the game recording, so I know I'm going to dismiss this guy, and then we're going to split these guys up, and we'll do that more in the next episode, guys. I think that's pretty much all of this stuff that is really important here. These are just notifications, very similar to Victoria. Yeah, and of course, if you need to get more information on these game, go ahead and watch Arumba. He does a fantastic tutorial series, and it's very in-depth, and I'm sure you'll learn a lot from it, if not everything you probably ever need to know about this game. And alright, so I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to start the war, of course, next episode, and that'll come out on Tuesday, tomorrow, so you don't have to wait too long. Alright, thanks again for watching. Spray and pray out.